Hello and welcome back to Speedynet, where in Japantown we now have churches and yeah, it seems to me that we are starting to get some non-Japanese buildings in here. I don't really know what's up with that, but look, we got these temple things and churches and yeah, overall I'd have to say that these look pretty non-Japanish. Anyway, here we are looking at the town of Sluthattan. Remember this, where we had a meat factory where the sluts were turned into baby machines and yeah, they were producing 700 people a month. You thought that was much, huh? Well, guess what? I have discovered something that is far worse than Sluthattan. Let me just quickly go to that. I believe it was over here. Yeah, the quite cozy town of Ruborn over here, huh? It has another hotel, a meat factory, just like Sluthattan, but where I thought Sluthattan was crazy. Look at this, this is absolutely insane. 1,071 passengers we got over here, yeah. That is just absolutely ludicrous. Honestly, there's just no word for it. I mean, imagine what they must be doing here. I totally see cloning vats and all that, you know, being hidden in the basement here. It's just crazy. And the cool thing is, we are actually managing to ship those passengers away. Yeah, crazy as it seems. Key to all of this is Ship 235, which has already made 100,000 game euro bucks, and that's going to become even more. Now you might be wondering, wow, what a fancy cruiser. Yeah, you know, after the crash we had last time, I did rebuild our station and I went a little bit further. Let me show you how I rebuilt it in the end. This, ladies and gentlemen, is our Plutfield Hotel station and the way it currently is. It has tons of metal, no engineering supplies, which is still a concern as I have seen that the distribution of those supplies from over here seems to largely go towards this station. Look, it has like 7,800. I think that's a bit much. What I did was I did set up a train that just hauls those supplies over to the Plutfield Hotel, as I think the distribution is a bit cockeyed to say. I think it has to do with like travel distance and train frequency, which I believe there are not that many more trains, but it's quite close together to this station, but the travel time over here obviously is a lot longer. Same over here, we seem to be having a more decent supply of trains, but I don't really know why it is exactly. I thought it had to do with the distance. This is definitely the furthest station, and I am not counting the station we have over here, as it's just too small to contribute anything. Now, back to the Plutfield Hotel station. This part you've seen me set up. Over here though, things are now radically different. I changed this station around to be accessible from this side right now. Another thing you might notice is this loop that we got going over here. Now, you might be thinking like, why is that? Well, remember that these metal trains, we had set them up to be with a refitting thing, you know, so they deliver metal, refit themselves at the roundabout over here, and then bring back the engineering supplies to be refitted over here. Well, with the current setup, there's kind of an issue, as we cannot place depots near each of these crossings, obviously. The problem is that the train, whenever it has to go to the station, will not consider its next destination into its pathfinding. So what would happen is the train would enter over here at the junction and it would be thinking like, okay, what's the fastest path? Can I take it? No, I will take the next fastest path. Arrive at the station and then be like, hey, I need to go to, say for example, that was this lane. It would then think like, hey, I need to go over here to refit myself. What I'll do is I'll go over here, make a turnaround, go back through the station, go to the depot, go back. Highly inefficient. So what I had to do was basically build a loop over here where I've assigned all the metal trains to go to, you know, distributed among these depots more or less evenly. And then make their loop like this and then return into the station. Not the most beautiful solution, but it's a working one. It's, you know, effective. It does what I wanted it to do, so that's what we got going. You will also see this moss overgrown track right to the side of it. Trust me, this track has been here for quite a few years now, as you can see, because it is now 1930. Quite a bit of time has passed, and you might be thinking like, wait, did you take that long for this station to be built? Of course it didn't. I mean, this was the second time I had to do it, and we've got quite a bit of chagrin, if I may add to that, but yeah, you know, this didn't take that long to figure out. The thing is though, what I have also done, kind of like as a precursor to what we're going to do today, what I've also done is I have taken a careful look to pretty much revisit each and every town that is handling passengers for us currently. Pretty much, and I guess it's best if we open up the cargo flow legend and then just put on passengers and then open up the map as well, I believe. I don't even know why it isn't showing. I guess we also need to, yeah, there we go. Right, okay, so as you can see over here we do not have passenger services. So what I did was I just started to look over here, you know, and just visit each and every town, each and every station, and see what was happening over here. Do I need to adjust anything, you know, that kind of stuff. And guess what? A lot of these towns, if we take a look at Flundingworth as an example, only need petrol to grow. So what I did was I checked each and every town that we had services going to, and I added a petrol station where it was only petrol that we need. So theoretically speaking, and I haven't tried this out, but theoretically speaking, we should be able to get this town to grow past the petrol barrier. Now as it happens, we are of course making petrol, let's see, where was it? Yeah, right over here at the refinery. So even more theoretically speaking, from over here we should be able to at least move petrol to, well, from over here to all the towns that need it. Now granted, if you take a look, you can see that there are quite a few towns and we would need, wait, wow, why is this red? Is this really that bad? It's 254 passengers over here, 400. I did upgrade this with a bigger boat now, didn't I? Or have I not? You are one of the ships over here, but clearly like, you are not the one that we need. Definitely not. I mean, do all these passengers need to go over there? Yeah, that pretty much seems to be the case. Right, well, just in case you've been wondering, aside from upgrading the, you know, most of the passenger routes with bigger ships and, you know, adding road vehicles where needed, we now also have, and I think it's best shown over here, we also have a big armada of new ships over here. Look, this is one of the new boats that we currently have in service. It is this one, the steamship, very creatively named. But we have quite a few of these in service right now. In fact, let me just show you how many we have in service right now. As I did literally take a look at everything. And we now have 60 ships which are purely used for passenger services only in service. Look, and most of them aren't even making a loss. I mean, a lot of them are actually running a profit. Not this one, but well, you know, some of them will never be profitable. Look at this. This is the one from the meat factory in Ruborn. But yeah, no, pretty much no red figures anywhere. So these are all the ships that we have added because I saw that we had a lot of passenger pilots, you know. So yeah, pretty good, huh? I mean, I really, and if we just disable this, I really like the look of the ocean over here. There's boats everywhere trawling around in, you know, different types and sizes, all doing different things. I really like it. This looks like the Speedy Ocean, you know, where ships are moving to and fro, going about their business, and yeah, I like it, man. It is good. I really think that this is one of the better looking parts. Another thing that we have done is balance out like the production over here on the iron ore mines and all the steel, so we pretty much got the capacities we need pretty much everywhere. I mean, over here I have added trains, so this is declining. This was a lot more. The same was done for, and I believe that is over here, the coal mines. Mind you though, the coal mines do take a little bit longer to get sorted out, but I have added trains and capacity. And at some point, I do feel we need to upgrade like the stretch from over here to a full 4-lane, pretty much up till the junction over here that we got going. So yeah, that's one thing on the to-do list. Same pretty much for, well, not particularly over here. I mean, it might seem crowded, but that's mostly because the trains aren't on a timetable, so they're not really spread out. I don't think we really need to add 4-lane over here unless I start to see major pileups, but another thing that we did was, aside from all the boat upgrades and the petrol station upgrades, I did take a look at the trains, you know, see if we needed to increase any passenger train capacity anywhere, but I have to admit, for the most part, our trains were actually not that bad. There weren't that many train stations that had a huge amount of passengers waiting that needed some attention. There were a few, mind you. It's not like, yeah, everything was perfect. No, far from it, of course. But yeah, you know, the train part was looking, well, especially less bad than the ship passenger services were. So, if we then take a look at the zoomed out view again over here, and we see what we have, let me put a mail overlay over here, and then just disable this. Now, you will see that there are a few lines that do have mail or do have passenger service, but do not have mail service. But for the most part, I actually included mail service pretty much everywhere. So yeah, I think that's you know, worth something as well. I have forgotten a few, I know that, but at some point I was like, yeah, alright, enough, you know, enough is enough, let's leave it at this. But the thing is, you know, that I noticed a lot of these towns, like Freewood, well, that's a bad example actually, but a lot of the towns like Charwood, for example, only need mail, and now that we are delivering that, the town's actually growing. So, and once it needs petrol, we will start delivering that, and then it will grow even further. See what the precursor to all of this is? You get it, passengers, yes. Now, this took quite a bit of time to set up, like quite a bit, and as a result, a few things have happened in between. Also, let me just go to the Plutfield station, you know, whilst I explain what has happened, so you can revel in its beauty. I'll actually leave the game running so you can see it in action. Now, another thing, you know, a thing that has happened is that, I'll actually zoom out, look at how beautiful it is. But what has happened is that quite a few new vehicles became available, and I want to take a look at those like right now, just to show you what we've gotten. Over here, not really that much. We do have the 2882 mallet right now, which is actually, I mean, in terms of pulling power, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, if I may say so myself. Now, the mallet is good. Of course, our upgrading, you know, in terms of like what trains are good, the mallet is good but too slow. This one's also good, but you know, still a little bit too slow. I like trains to go 96 kilometers an hour, as that is the limit of our wagons. So this is not bad, but it does suffer from a bit of a pulling power lack, and it's also not that reliable. Over here, we have a little bit less reliable train, which has a little bit more power and also goes 96 kilometers an hour. I mean, for the faster trains, we'll use something else. This one's new, actually. The Berkshire. when was this? Yeah, 1927. That kind of came around during me rebuilding it, I believe, or maybe in the end of the last video, but we didn't have it available. This is actually a pretty good alternative, but the problem here is with the Berkshire, and that's the same with like the Mountain and the Mikado especially, is the reliability. I have set, you know, the lower boundary to 75%. Now this is above the lower boundary, so I was like, alright, we'll use it, but I was kind of hesitant to do so. Really, I mean, it's like 1% above. This isn't that much better. The Mallet though, quite a bit more reliable, and the Santa Fe is actually a lot more reliable, more expensive too. But now we also have gotten a few of these trains, which I consider to be like, well, you know, that. That's like my opinion about them. Over here, you know, for these trains, we have actually gotten this one, which, I don't know really, no, it wasn't that one, I think it was this one, or maybe we don't have it available. Yeah, I believe it was tank engine. We got one more engine over here, but it's not like we're using it in any case. Now, that's for the trains. You know, we got quite a few new train locomotives, and the Berkshire is a real interesting candidate, really. So, we might want to look at upgrading our Mikados to that one, but we'll see that later. I want to see how the reliability develops itself. Over here, though, and this is the more interesting one, look at what we have currently. The Width-Sharp Principal Bus, and look at this, it goes faster than our horses. Now, at the time when I got this, it had 50% reliability, so I was like, alright, I won't be using it right now till the reliability gets better. At 81%, I'm like, hell yeah, we're gonna use it. It's not as good as this one, but it's a lot better, and it's faster, and it can carry more. That means that we can seriously cut down on the amount of passenger vehicles that we got going over here. I think it wouldn't be unrealistic to say that we can get this down to like 140 or something. Same over here, there's still a lot of horses in the employment, so though that being said, I don't think we can get this down much lower than 250. But yeah, in general, I feel like, you know, we can give this a good shave down to just below like 1400, 1350 maybe, especially because aside from the passengers, this whole section over here and this, not this one, but this whole section over here, I have not touched with upgrading when it comes to the use of road vehicles, you know. I mean, what you see over here is trams, but look, see, all we use here are horses. Same for the area over here. All the road vehicles that we have are still horses, so there is, you know, still a reduce in vehicle number to be gained over there. So there you have it. Now, as for over here, as you can see, there's a lot of coal here, and as a result, we now have 3 Patruiki freighters. Yeah, we got 3. That's absolutely crazy. I mean, this one has the engineering supplies, and you can even see that the engineering supplies are starting to stack up. Our coal mines are at a consistent gung-ho quadruple production status, so yeah, that's pretty good, you know. I mean, things are working out over here. And with 3 Patruiki freighters over here, I mean, I've added more trains. We'll probably need to add even more trains over here to just unload the station. Currently it was at 8,000, then I added a bunch of trains, it was going down, and then I had to add another freighter. So there's actually a real chance that it's going up right now. I don't want to overcommit with like 3 or 4 trains that are actually surplus to what we need. So I'm adding them, you know, 1 or 2 at a time to see, alright, is it nice steadily going down, or do I still need to add more? Needless to say, of course, I mean, this is just insane. Now, for the big part, let's take a look at our operating profit. Oh yeah, check it out. We have come from, well, I believe over here it was when I started to redo the station. We have come from a good 20 to well above 25 million in operating profit. Oh yeah, baby. Profit explosion! I told you it was gonna happen, and it's freaking happening. And not just by a small margin either. I mean, that's like a really steep increase. Now, there are a few, bottlenecks. One is over here. This is not working out very well. I had to add this track over here, just so that trains that come on this track can bypass it, but it's suboptimal to say the least, as these trains do have priority over this joining track. However, this just leaves, this train waiting here for very long, as there's quite a lot of traffic that comes down over here. So, yeah, it's not good. Ideally, what we do is we make this 4-lane, from this junction onwards. So that's the ideal situation. That's something we'll have to look at later. For now, it's barely managing, but this is definitely something that should be increased once we start to develop over here further. But that, by popular request, has been put on the long-term agenda for the time being. So passengers then, huh? Well, there are a few things that I want to do with passengers. If we put back the cargo flow legend thing again and we take a look at the passengers. I mean, we can see that we have some small subnetworks, but ideally I'd like to connect all of them so passengers can get everywhere. However, that's not that easy as it sounds, as we do kind of need to, well, lay down separate lines for it, I feel. Like, for example, the town of Londonderry or even Fredingham, to connect it to Chonthill. I mean, we cannot use the existing network for this station that's already very busy. That ain't gonna work, on this station. So we'd need like a separate line to hook that up, and it ain't gonna be by road, it has to be by train. So, and then there's like, well, more of these issues, like, over here, for example, small subnetwork. This we could connect over here as well to this station, possibly, or maybe somewhere else, but I mean, there is options for us to connect stuff over here. Now, as it stands, in terms of like the general network, passenger network coverage, you might see some passenger service lines over here, but these are all only water related, alright? So, and that's a thing. I don't want water related passenger lines. Also, by the way, what I didn't do over here, and I now see that because of this big red line, what I didn't do was buy us on this steamship and tell it to do that. Senhill and Brunstone. I mean, that is the mail boat, but I don't mind that. There you go. So, no, but in terms of like, the flow legend stuff, can I set this to... No, I can't really set it to show me trains and road only, but that's alright. In any case, what I was saying, like, I feel like, that the point where our all expanding, all covering everything network is like till on this point over here. We might need to hook some stuff up, but I feel like from this station, the lime kiln station, I feel like from there we should expand our passenger service all the way over to this area, like all the way over here, even over here. I feel like this should all be part of our network area, the stuff that we cover. What I feel that should not be part of it is the stuff over here near the coal station, as I kind of want to start at, doling out all the farming supplies that we produce over here in a massive fashion, over all the farms and the fishing grounds, and really start racking up the profits there. So in that regard, I not going to cover up the passenger service over there. But I definitely feel like over here in this area, you know, we can definitely start hooking stuff up. I think what we should do is start by hooking up the separate networks that we get going. Like this one over here needs to be hooked up to the main connection. Same with these ones I want to hook up, and then we'll just expand inwards. So that is at least the plan. Of course, we'll still have to determine how well that is actually going to work. But I think, you know, there is potential. Like, for example, I think that it shouldn't be that difficult to... well, actually, I'm saying it shouldn't be that difficult. I think it will be extraordinarily difficult to hook up a nice train station over here. And if I just disable all the trees, what we could do is build one over here. A station, that is, join it up with the existing station, which will then also cover the passengers, and then just have that be on a separate line, joining up like right over here, splitting off like right over here. I mean, something like that could work. I can totally see that happen actually. That way we would have this subnetwork connected. Yes, I guess we will go with that. Seems about right. Okay, let's get that sorted then. Let's build a passenger station. Let's expand the passenger service network. Now right, that's one sorted at least. Now of course you won't see these green lines immediately, as that needs to sort itself out basically, but well, you know, give it a bit of time and it should update itself. So then next part, you know, I mean, I also don't want like this big spider web, you know, where everything is connected to everything. I mean, sure, you know, in terms of optimized gameplay, that would be for the best. But I don't really feel like we'd need it that badly, so that's not what we'll be gunning for. Instead, what we will probably... Oh, look at that, see, and there's the connection. Now it's already hooked up. I think what we should probably do is see that we then hook up the Plendingham, or the... Is it Plendingham? No, it's Flendingham to the town of Great Trunworth. Oh, and look at this hotel, by the way, man. This is producing some passengers. Now, I have added more horses over here, but yeah, you know, I mean, the amount of passengers is insane. Anyway, yeah, I think what we should do is just add the connection, and I believe that should actually be a fairly easy thing, as all the track works are in place. So theoretically speaking, all that we should need to do is just add this one, add a few of these, and then add like 2 milk cars. And this is all in theory, of course, but theoretically speaking, it should all be done like this. We'll have it go to the middle and the far end, I believe. No, we want it to be in the middle over here and here to the far end. Right, okay. So that's that sorted. Ooh, and another thing, and I actually pretty much almost forgot about that. And how could I? Over here, it has been suggested, and I quite like the suggestion actually, that we should name our big Patriku freighters after, well, we should just give them names. We shouldn't, it's not like name them after something, but just give them names in general. I think that's an excellent idea, and I think that we are totally going to do that. So let's start over here. Now, I don't know if we can even rename this one. Oh, name, yeah, there it is. Ship 254. We're going to call this Arborage. There, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it won't do anything other than, you know, just for the coolness sake, but hey. I think we should call this Maelstrom. Yeah, definitely. That's also a pretty good name for a big ship. And then, let's see. We shall call this one, yeah, how about we call this the Bracken. Yeah, nice. And of course, you know, what we can't go without is one ship called, oh, yeah, the Big D. There, D from damage, of course. So I thought that was an excellent idea, you know, and any other Patruki freighter that we get, or whatever it's called exactly, we will also name that, you know, because I think it's cool. I like that kind of stuff. I think that was an excellent idea, so big thanks to whoever suggested it. I like it. Now, as far as our networks go, we were developing stuff over here. Look, this is now also connected. We then have this small subnetwork over here to deal with. What is the best solution over here? I wonder. Oh, and also, one thing that I kind of forgot to mention, but I also had to do that, was over here, where you can see that we have some moss overgrown tracks. There was an issue with this station, which those of you who have like photographic memory will know that this station used to be different. Totally right. What happened was that I had lengthened up the trains, never considered that the trains would be longer than the station, and as a result, the back end would actually block this crossing, so any train wanting to enter over here couldn't enter. Now, as it happens, this station has quite a few trains, and what happened was they all started piling up. As you can see, they've all run in the red last year. So what happened was they all started piling up up until this junction, so any traffic that needed to go over here on these tracks was just blocked. As a result, no traffic was over here, and everything was moss overgrown, and I didn't even notice it until I saw the tracks and I was like, wait, what? Shouldn't there be traffic over here? I mean, why is it all green? So in a way, you know, this whole moss grow mod that we got going is actually excellent for keeping check on how many, whether or not tracks are used and whether or not things are going alright. Oh, this might not work all that well. We probably want to upgrade the amount of horses that we got there. Now, you could be thinking like, why do you still use horses when you got these awesome principal coach vans, whatever? We are going to upgrade all the horses in one go, and I'll do that off camera, you know, after this session. I will give everything a thorough pass when it comes to capacity, you know, eliminate all the horses from our roster. But I want to do that in one sweep go, and I don't want to have like a mixture to deal with. So there you go, you know, that's that explained. As for Fundingbury, Fudgingbury. As for this town, we can choose to either take Fredingham as the station, or the place to put a station to hook up to Chont Hill, or, and I think that is my preference, we use Fudingbury. As Fudingbury, it's kind of nice to just build the station over here. Just have that be like one station, and then just somehow make the tracks hook up to these. Well, it shouldn't actually be that difficult, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. No, perhaps, maybe I am mistaken, but it shouldn't be that difficult. As far as I can tell, that is. Right, let's give that a go. Let's connect Fuddingbury to Chont Hill, shall we? Oh my good lord. This looks absolutely insanely good. I don't even see where the train tracks would be, usually. But I just want to toy around with this. Where are the actual... Oh no, now I see how this works right now. I get it. I totally get it. We cannot have this over here, but man, is this awesome! I totally did not consider this to be... Oh man, this is just, you know, what you can slap on to any existing passenger station. It's kind of like an entrance. Oh man, that's amazing. Anyway. Yeah, this was the one engine that I thought, you know, the UK set that we had unlocked, but apparently we did not have it unlocked. But if we take a look at the engines over here, or the locomotives, no, don't want it. If we take a look over here, you can see that there's like a gazillion of these tank engines, and I thought one of them was new, but yeah, you know, whatever. I believe it was this one that we actually have, yeah. It is. We're not gonna use any of them as they're all too weak and too slow, but you know, well, mistakes were made. Anywho, we are going to build the station right here, right now. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, there we have it, you know, the town of Chont Hill and Fudgingbury hooked up. Not the most beautiful of tracks, I'll have to admit. I mean, clearly what we see over here is a massive hill that needs to be climbed, but I don't really see any alternative to this track other than the way it's currently laid out. Sure, we could build an absolute heap of tunnels, but so long as this train actually makes it up that hill with a relative ease, which at least empty it seems to do, then we're all good. I mean, if it turns out to be too much of a pull for this train, we could always change the locomotive to one that has more pulling power. That way it will come up the hill a lot more easy, but... look at that, and when it goes down, man, the speed is bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Look at it accelerating. Yeah, very good. Right, so that is that subnetwork hooked up. I believe we're starting to make this a much more coherent story. Yeah, I thought for a moment that, why isn't that updating exactly? Now, as far as the town of Pinsford and Bunfingbridge oil refinery goes, I actually do not believe that we have a possibility to hook that up to the oil refinery station in an easy matter, other than just crossing through this junction like a madman. Which I don't really feel like doing, so perhaps we shouldn't look at joining this from Pintford, but instead look to join this from Ganley. And from Ganley, probably to one of these towns, which would then connect via a station somewhere around over here to the main network. I mean, that could work out. Yeah, I can see something like that happening. I don't want to add passengers to this station, as already this is a heavily congested station with lots of traffic in like pretty much any form you can imagine. I mean, look at all the boats over here, man. It is crazy. I like it. So, in that case, that subnetwork will be dealt with later. Let's also take a look at the town of Brewtown over here, which, man, is that big. And the town of Chinford is also super big. You know what I think? And this might be crazy, but I think it's worth doing. I think this is actually, we could place an airfield over here. We don't have any airports. Let's take a look. We only have small airports. We don't have any big airports. I mean, no large airports? No. Hub airports? No. Can't. So all we can build is small airports. I mean, for all I know, I don't see why we would not be able to get one over here. Honestly, I think it would be excellent, if I may say so myself. So, yeah, I mean, why not, right? We'll hook it up to the Brewtown docks. Oh yeah, then we shall have this. I mean, this seems like the perfect spot for it, right? So, why don't we hook this up to the Chinford grocer shop? Just like there. Wow, 2 airfields, man. This is gonna be really, really good. Now, just to be sure, you know, I do want some extra coverage. Okay, I didn't like it that much. So that's just to get some extra coverage out there. And then we'll also, I don't know if I can even do this, but yeah, apparently it's fine with it. Oh, there was actually already stations in there. No, I don't want that. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we are about to get ourselves our very first aircraft. Let's see what we have available. I mean, there is a limited amount of tiles. I don't really know how far we would be able to get. There's no indication of how far it would be able to go. Still though, this is classed as a helicopter. I don't want helicopters, I want freaking aircraft. Look, I mean, this one goes at 128. They both go, but this one's just the more expensive version. They do, I mean, they can carry mail and passengers both. And look at this, a Fokker. This is like Dutch glory that we got going over here. Still though, we need, I think for towns this big, we need like the biggest we can get. So I guess we'll still go with the airship, even though it's not that fast. This one's like crazy fast, but it can carry like, yeah, if I were to calculate this, ooh. So 9,000, right, for 9,600 a year for something that goes only 96 tiles, but I believe that this would be within range. Actually, 96 might be really close. Let's try this one. I feel that this is actually a lot better in terms of bang for your buck than this one, so let's try this one. No, we can't even refit this. I'll have to see how this is gonna work out. Will it do this? I mean, that is the big question. No, it seems like it does. Let's follow this. This is our very first aircraft that we got, and it's a double winged. Look at this. Oh man, this looks nice, man. I like it. Instantly there is insane amounts of passengers over here. I mean, there's a very good chance that we might have to add a lot more airplanes over here. I just want to see this in action, really. We're gonna follow this live. Ladies and gentlemen, from Speedynet TV, live, we got our very first airplane taking off. It isn't that fast. I mean, this is how fast it's going. Now you might be thinking like, wow, that's like really not fast. And you're right. In the hard pack, aircraft have been severely nerfed as far as I know. Not in like, you know, all your aircraft are bad, but the aircraft themselves actually, they have like a speed reduction associated to them. So the speed that it currently has will be like the maximum speed, I believe. I think there's like a factor 3 in terms of how much it is divided by. Still though, I think this is pretty excellent. I don't know where it's going exactly. I mean, does it need to go around? You'd think it might want to go over here like this. Oh yeah, there it goes. So yeah, it always seems like it's snailing, but that's part of the hard pack, you know, to make aircraft less overpowered. I know that in the vanilla game, the way to make money is aircraft. Simple as that, you know. Insane money generation makes for easy game at all times. So I know that that's the way it works, but you know, I mean, this is the hard pack, so we're not gonna have it insanely easy for us. Look at how slow it goes. This is our very first aircraft, man. It's gliding there. I mean, if aircraft in real life could go this fast and still fly, I mean, how amazing would that be? I think though that Speedynet, you know, we are on the edge of technology. We employ electric trains, electricity. We have aircraft, we have big ships, we have long trains and big stations. Yeah, Speedynet is there, man. Front runners of technology. And yeah, I like it. Also, I didn't really take a look at the reliability of this one. 90%, seems good. So I just want to know, like, okay, so how much money are we gonna get from this? Is this even viable? Currently it has the max. No, it doesn't even have the max. It has only 4 bags of mail. Tell me something. Why exactly are you not going there? Chinford Grocer Shop. Airplane? Is there a reason why you are not? That seems to be turning around right now. I don't know how the pathing works in it, but this is a peculiar route. I can tell you that much. Oh, there it goes for the descent. Yep. I mean, the pace isn't really that quick. It has slowed down to 128 kilometers an hour, so... But look at that, and it has landed. Perfect, I'd say. Now, as far as passengers go, I don't know how much money we're gonna get from this, and I don't even know, like, if it's even viable to do this with, you know, these cheapo airplanes. So maybe we need to wait till, you know, the whole aviation industry has developed itself a little bit more. Because in all honesty, I mean, 480. No, that's not the thing I wanted to click in game. I mean, well, it's at least a cheap plane, so I guess from that perspective, you know, we can definitely increase this. Yeah, because if we just take a look at this airfield right now, definitely there is room for more. Alright. Bags via any station. Currently it's only doing mail actually. And in terms of mail, it can only have 10, which it doesn't carry right now. You know what we'll do? We will add a few more aircraft over here, and we will timetable those. So, oh, there you are. So let's add like 5 more. So we'll go with 6 in total. I mean, these small airplanes, you know, it doesn't even matter if we run a loss on this at first. This is our very first airline as well. How amazing is that? Look, there we go. Oh man, nice aircraft. I like it. This is looking good. We are truly front runners for technology. And it also means that this subnetwork is now completely hooked up. So in that regard, all we really need to do is hook up the town of Lenley to Fort Traberg and then build a docks over here and hook this up. I guess we could do the latter, you know. Let's get ourselves a docks out there and let's hook up Fort Traberg. Alright, and that's that done. See, it doesn't need to be complicated. It can just be as easy as adding 2 more ships, and then all we need to do is get ourselves like... well, actually, all we need to do really is get ourselves an added train connection with the station over here, and we are golden. That's all that we need to do, basically. Wow, and this weak-ass locomotive. I mean, how fast can this go? 80 kilometers an hour. Really? Really? No, look at that. No longer accepts oil or petrol. Let's go to this location. Where is this? So the petrol station has gone then. Goods or petrol. But Suhattan never had a petrol station, right? No, 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 I don't want this. I'm curious to... I want to find something out, you know? Let's see, if we were to... So, just in a town that definitely needs petrol, that is totally outside of our influence. Let's go to a big city over here. Over here. Definitely on its own, it does not accept petrol, even though it clearly needs it, judging by the size of it. Alright, interesting to know. So apparently a petrol station has disappeared from there. I mean, that's not bad, you know. I mean, it's alright, just so long as we understand why it's happening. Right, how are things going over here? Well, there's definitely aircraft here. There is mail over here via any station. How is it doing over here with the aircraft? I just want to know, man. Oh yeah, no, they're definitely flying around here, circling around. And then they need to wait? Or can they just pass through each other? I mean, it seems like they're all repeating the mistake of their predecessors, really. Or it can only handle like 1 airplane at a time. Which, if that were to be the case, it might not be that profitable. Well, never mind. I mean, when I see those numbers, definitely it is profitable. I know that much. Right, okay. So, yeah, we got airplane. Maybe we've overshot it a little, you know, but, ah well. You know what? As a finishing touch, let's hook up Fort Traberg to Lenley over here. So yeah, let's get that sorted. Now, you know what's interesting over here? We can actually use one of these fancy electric engines. Because we got electric trains over there, I feel like that's quite a good idea. Let's go with the NER EE1, just because we haven't used it that much. And it is quite quick. It has bad reliability. I know. But it's just new, you know. I want to spice things up a little and not use the same locomotives everywhere. Besides, it's a relatively cheap option and that goes relatively fast. I think it's like, Now this is the fastest we have, but then there's like one more train that can go that fast. I believe it was... yeah, it's true, the Pacific. Or this one. I mean, technically speaking, we would want the Pacific because it's better and cheaper in every single way. But just for the coolness, you know, we're gonna run with this inferior train, which is suboptimal. I'm well aware of it, but this is just, you know, just because I want it, basically. So there we go. Look at that. And here it can go to the far end. Perfect. What? What was that? Does this train fart? We had a train fart, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what is that for shenanigan? Right, okay. Merp. It is a relatively small engine too. You know. By the way, let's put on the catenaries, alright? It does go quite fast though. Now that sounds like a proper train. I mean, all these sounds, man. Quite like them actually. I think they add character. So, there we have it. I think over here, basically, we hooked up most of our subnetworks. I mean, this over here is also still in need of hooking up, but so are quite a lot of towns in this area. And I feel like we should start over here and then work our way down to this area. So, that's the goal for us, but we are not gonna do that until next time when we play more OpenTTD.